Moo. Ha. 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 See what we did there because it's Halloween. Welcome back, everybody, to Bad Film Good, the podcast where we look at poorly rated movies and we ask the question, ooh, is this bad film good?
Good! Is this bad film good?
My name is Spooky Declan.
I was trying to think of, like, if we could be like, I can't think of anything.
You can't think
Yeah, because I was like...
I'm Dracula or something. And then you'd be like...
And I'm...
The Blob.
I'm the Swamp Thing. Ooh.
And then anybody who listens to this for the first time, and they've not heard us before, will be
They're like, I'm turning this off.
Yeah, that too. So it's a spooky episode, not because we're releasing it on Halloween, because that would be a smart thing to do.
It's in anticipation for, so you can... you've got plenty of time to listen to it in preparation to get you all spooked out.
It's
Halloween.
like when
Ooh.
it's like when stores put out all the Halloween stuff like way too early.
yeah, and then it all gets sold out by like October 2nd, and you're like,
and they put all the Christmas stuff out even though it's not Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh God, my voice.
Oh no, it's the fog.
Oh no,
getting you.
It's the fog. Because today we're looking at The Fog.
The Fog, not the original one,
not the original John Carpenter classic.
the shit new one.
The shit new one from 2005. But yeah. So before we get into all of the fogging that we're doing this week, Aiden, why don't you tell us what is spooky shrekking this week? Bonus points if you make it Halloween themed. No pressure because you've already got a story lined up. So
well, yeah. This is spooky. This is
bonus points.
This is terrifying because
we're going to do this a lot in this episode.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't help it. It's Halloween. Shrek 4D attraction at Universal Studios is closing for good. Now,
No.
if that isn't scary news,
If that
I
isn't
don't know
spooky
what
scary,
Ooh.
yeah, it's actually just because somebody was like brutally murdered.
Yeah. And the ghost is haunting
On the ride, as part of the ride.
Yeah, and the ghost came back as Shrek, and that's how the franchise was born.
What are you doing in my ride?
What are you doing in my Shrek 4D attraction at Universal Studios, Florida? Ooh.
Get in my arse.
Get in my arse. The
That's a
rumors
really
are true.
good inside joke for us to have, by the way.
Yeah,
That's a really
get in my
good.
arse.
Get in my ass is a really good, no context needed podcast inside joke to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what episode's that from, but it doesn't matter. You don't need.
But it doesn't matter now. Listen to them all and find out. Anyway,
Yeah. Got him.
got them.
We'll cut this bit out, but we fucking got 'em. Fucking losers. They're gonna listen to it.
We're not cutting any of this out.
Yeah, fucking.
You suck.
Yeah, you fucking suck.
No, don't go.
Oh no. I mean, you guys are great. Ooh.
Oh, shrinking.
Yeah.
Look, everyone.
But yes, the rumors are true. The Shrek 4D attraction at Universal Studios Florida will close early next year after 18 years in operation. The 15-minute film that combines 3D effects with 4D audience interaction like jets of water debuted at both.
How would it be like
Universal
2D
Studios.
audio interaction, audience interaction?
2D, but squirts water at random intervals, not even like related to the film.
Yeah.
Shrek's like having a breakdown. He's like, "Donkey, I don't know what to do. Fiona, she's leaving me," and then it just squirts water in your face. Yeah. So yes, it debuted at both Universal Studio Parks in Florida and California in 2003. The Hollywood version closed in 2017, and now the Florida version is also closing. That is very sad.
It's truly the end of an era.
Yeah, you have until January to visit Orlando to get one last screening in.
Just Orlando Bloom. He has the
He's the
private
only
access.
person left.
Yeah, he's the only one who has access, and he could bring people in. So go see him specifically. Find out where he is.
But apparently, it's not. There is because it's a horror. This is clearly a horror movie, but there's always a happy ending at a horror movie because apparently, if you go to one of the studios in Japan or Singapore, they have the movie installed so you can see it. Apparently, unconfirmed. But yes.
We're going to send some of our correspondence over to those sites.
We'll send them to Japan, and we'll get back to you on that.
It's just Aiden.
Yeah, I'm going to Japan.
Yeah, I'm not giving him the money. He's paying it out of his own pocket to go there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I'll get it reimbursed from... We'll set up a Patreon. No, we'll set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah, nobody will put any money in it.
Yeah, if everyone can
and
just
then you have
donate...
to pay for everything.
GoFundMe to Japan so I can check whether they have the Shrek 4D experience.
There will be some people who put money into that, I think.
Yeah, I reckon so. What a publicity stunt. Maybe I should do it, actually.
Yeah. Local papers, that it becomes on the like evening news, like young man raises money so that he can go to see the
local man scams people
attraction.
on the internet to send him money so he can go to Japan to see the Shrek 4D.
Yeah. Comes back and says it's shit.
Yeah, it wasn't there. They didn't have it.
Yeah. No, it's. I should have looked it up. Actually, they closed it down.
It says on the
ago.
website.
Yeah,
could have just checked. But yeah, that's what's Shrekin this week. Let's get foggy.
Let's get getting foggy with it.
Do the fog pop.
Oh no, do the emoji fog. The fog pop, yeah. God's sake. For God's sake. Anyway. We're looking at the fog, okay? This film came out, was it 2005?
Yeah.
And then, although it said, because I searched 2005, but then it says 2006 on something. Probably like released somewhere else or something. But yeah, so we watched it on Amazon Prime, which describes it as being 100 years after their ship was deliberately wrecked. The ghosts of the murdered seaman, not men, seaman, have returned to Antonio Bay to exact a ghostly vengeance. Also, that ruins the whole film, right? Yeah. Do you know what? Because I was just copying it down, I wasn't paying attention to what it said. I'm glad because, okay, not that I had some great reveal at the end, but like, yeah, that just ruins the whole film. The whole kind of twist behind it.
But have you seen the original?
No, I haven't. Seen the original.
Neither have I. So this is like
that felt like a setup to be like, it's actually really interesting. Let's take that. Be like, no, I haven't seen it.
Well, I was just wondering, like, is this meant to be a sequel or is it just a remake?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's just because there's more fog. It's just somewhere else where there is some fog.
And they're like, oh shit, it's a bit foggy. That's the whole film, and then it ends.
It's got that quote on the front. It's the slogan, "The fog," and it's like, shit, it's a little bit foggy today.
It's bloody foggy, mate. Get your fog lights out. God,
get your fog lights out of your pocket.
Yeah, just get them
a
out.
handy fog light on me.
Good thing I brought my fog light out.
The film was an advert for fog lights. Anyway, give us some info about this film.
So if you haven't seen it, basically, there's a boat on fire and some bloke gets pulled into the water, but then it's the future and a homeless man finds a compass on a beach that one of the blokes from the fireboat dropped, and he's like, oh shit, I found this compass. Anyway, let's give it to a random woman. So he finds a random woman. He's like, hey, have this compass or whatever it was. She's like, cheers. But then magic fog comes and breaks all the windows in the town, and then it picks up a knife and stabs some people. The town's a bit spooked because there's a bunch of spooky stuff that keeps happening and it's very spooky. Then it turns out that the fog is angry because all the blokes at the start burnt down the ship because the people had leprosy. So everyone is dying because they want revenge. But then the same random woman that had that compass gives the fog a kiss, and then the fog decides not to get revenge and to go bang the lady instead.
And thankfully, just at the nick of time, we end with somebody getting banged. It wouldn't be a true bad film, good film if somebody or something somewhere wasn't getting absolutely nailed.
It's tradition.
It's tradition.
Hey, it's not me, it's the films. It happens every time.
Yeah.
But it was made in 2005, directed by Rupert Wainwright, starring Maggie Grace, Tom Welling, Selma Blair, Steve Buscemi, and DeRay Davis. It had a budget of 18 million and made just over 46 million. So 46 million isn't great, but considering it had a budget of 18 million, it actually didn't do that badly. Yeah. However, it has an IMDb rating of 3.7 out of 10.
Oh.
4%.
We need to keep a record of what our lowest one is.
Yeah. I'll look it up.
We need to look back.
This definitely is on the lowest scale. 4% on Rotten Tomatoes and only 27 Metal Crickets liked it.
I'm surprised that that's like 27.
27? I don't know what the lowest Metal Crickets one we've had, but they're usually like not too low.
Yeah, it's usually a bit higher than the rest. I'm not sure why, but I saw that when I was looking for the reviews. 4%.
Yeah. Damn, that is bad.
Yeah,
and it deserves it.
Yeah.
But look, I'm a fog, and I feel like there's not enough representation in the film industry about fog.
About fog,
So I'm fog, so I've only got a budget of 18 million. But
it's what you picked up, yeah.
Yeah, it's what I picked up
when you rolled in.
Yeah, when I was murdering that town with a knife or something. But yeah, if you've got a film for me, I'd love to hear it.
I do have a film for you, Mr. or Miss Fogg. Non-binary Fogg.
I guess it could be non-binary, yeah.
Yeah. And it goes like this. Misty Morning Fun, featuring Fisherman Superman, Lois Lane, Ice Cube, and the girl from Lost. Get your smoke machines ready. We've got windows to break.
Ice Cube.
I should have said discount Ice Cube. I meant
Ice Cube from Wish.
He's Wish list Ice Cube. That's exactly it. Wish list Ice Cube. He is though.
He literally is. Yeah, he 100% is.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Superman, Tom Welling. I've just got to say that on top. I have a soft spot for Tom Welling. He's just great, but probably because I have a soft spot for Smallville, and I just love him in that. And he's great. Yeah,
I mean, there's a few like recognizable names, like Maggie Grace is in the Fear the Walking Dead, and Selma Blair was in Hellboy. I need to get on
watching that actually.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's Selma Blair? Is that the lighthouse lady?
Yeah, and she's in Hellboy. Like both of them. So yeah, like not
feels like one of those films they just kind of like do in between bigger gigs, just to get a bit of money coming in.
Yeah. They're like, then the Hellboy sequel's not coming out for a couple of years. I better get some money.
But this would have been during his time on Superman, I think, on Smallville, because that was like 2000s,
2005. When did Smallville finish?
I feel like it finished like 2010 or something. I might be wrong.
Damn. No, well,
10
don't
seasons,
look it up. But we're right.
We're right about it. So, right, yeah. And the lighthouse lady. There's a lot of points where she does look like the actress who plays Lois Lane in Smallville, and then consider she had like a thing with him. That's why I called her Lois Lane. But she does. She looks like it, like sort of. He's got a type. Is what I'm saying.
She's not in Smallville, though.
She's not in it, but she is. That's what I'm saying. Right, she is in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just get into the film.
Yeah, let's fucking get on with this shit.
Again, firstly, I know I said on the top before we get into it about Tom Welling, but on the top before we get into it, the one thing that pissed me off to no end, and Aiden didn't say anything because he deliberately wanted me to get the shock surprise and to feel this pain. We watched this on Amazon Prime. And I had no idea Amazon did this for, I guess, like some of the films that wouldn't make it so much money or something. Like, I don't understand why. But there are ads on this film. There are fucking, like, okay, right. So you look at it's like a YouTube fucking bar. When you look at the what do you call it? Progress bar. You know what I mean? The runtime bar, whatever, right? You look at that. YouTube, you see the little yellow notches that are like, here are the ads.
Yeah.
There are so many of them on here. It's like a YouTube video, and they're like 90 seconds long. They're so long. I would sit there, I would mute it and sit there and just look at other stuff while I was... It goes on for ages, and it just interrupts mid-sentence.
Yeah.
They're just doing stuff, and suddenly an ad comes in, and I think it's another scene of the film, so, like, for the first half a second, and, like, some weird shit's happening, and then it's like, don't forget to take your fucking meds for your shitting everywhere.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck off.
If there's no tension in this film, because it'll be like, oh my god, what's happening? He's dead. He's been stabbed by the fuck. And then it's like, do you have problems with erectile dysfunction? Buy Newman's pill that gets you hard. Go on, do it. Buy some sex pills. Go on. And then it's like, oh, my printer's really happy now because my printer's got new internet. Why don't you get some new internet? Because I'm a printer. It's so...
God damn it. It pissed me off to no end. And like ads for other Amazon Prime stuff. I'm like, I'm here already.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I got it's for like some other video or something, some other show or something like that. I think I got. But god damn, I was not expecting that, and I
had
no other films do that.
I had no idea.
It's our fault for picking niche things, you know.
But I've never seen that before. I had no idea that Amazon did that. So as soon as that was happening, I was like, "What the fuck is?"
Because when you go to play the thing, normally it will say "Watch now," or it will say "Watch now for $3.95" or something like that, however much it is. But it just says "free with ads." And I was like, "What do you fucking mean ads?"
Yeah, and it doesn't. You don't notice that at the time. So I was just like, "Oh, watch now," or like,
you
"Watch
didn't?
free."
Oh, I did.
So I was like, "Yeah, watch free." And then it was like, because sometimes it has an ad right at the start. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then it started playing, and it was just like, I don't know, like the creepy stuff. Like they're on a boat,
the
and
boat's on fire, things are exploding, and then suddenly just like, ding, 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 and it's like, oh, I can't use this old lawnmower anymore. You know, like, do you know what? At least if they were on like theme, it would have been great. You know, like an ad for a fog machine. Or like an ad for like double glazing.
Like, what happened to Tim? Oh, he went out fishing and his boat caught on fire and he died. Oh, that's so sad. What about his family? They'll be all right. They had Booper life insurance.
Yeah.
For when your boat's on fire. And then it cuts
and you get
back
stabbed
to
in the eye.
Yeah, by the fog.
An act of fog, eh?
Hey.
I was waiting for like that. Wow. But getting into the film itself, and I have got periodic notes that say the fucking ads every time it pops up. So we'll have those periodically,
okay,
so that you can feel the same pain that we should just like do fake ads.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes, we should do that.
No, we're not going to do that, don't worry. We will. Yeah, so, I mean, this film starts, and it's a lot of kind of confusing stuff happening. There's some guys in a boat. There's lots of, like, uncomfortably close-up kind of shots of their faces in slow-mo looking around, like, ah!
And then you get the boat scene, the fire's going on, and then it, like, hard cuts, not to an advert, but it hard cuts to, like, this really fast zooming in shot to the island while Fallout Boy is playing. It's like, it's going funny it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, it never does anything like that again. It's literally just that for like 30 seconds. And over the top of it, you've got this lady's voice broadcasting like a radio thing. like
and
super horny as well. She's
so
just like,
horny.
welcome to 3.1 radio.
Yes, like, careful about the wet sea out there. It's getting a little rough. I'll tell you something else that's rough.
She doesn't sound like this deep, though. Yeah, she's literally, because she's kind of her radio thing that she has, and it's her station and everything. She emphasizes that a number of times. It's inside the lighthouse where the light would be, right? And she's broadcasting
I think the light's still there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because normally it'd be like right in the middle, above. I didn't see it when it was.
Well, you see it.
Maybe
like,
it is.
well, you see the light when it's an exterior shot. You see the light going round. So I assume the light's there.
Oh, unless they just got an exterior shot of a lighthouse and they didn't bother changing it.
Didn't think it.
They were just like, yeah, it's a lighthouse. Well, you got to do something about the light in there because there's no light anymore. It's a studio. They're like, nah, doesn't matter.
We've only got 18 million.
Yeah, just put a bit of fog in there. It's on theme. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that the light was gone. Like, who knows? Who cares? Not me. But yeah, so it's just like overly, everything she says overly sexual, but not with innuendos. It's that kind of like, and like when you see shots of her actually talking into the mic as well,
she's like biting her lip and shit.
She's like biting. Yeah, she's like going like way over the top, even though nobody can kind of see her. I guess you kind of get into it, like, you know.
Like,
but
she's like can like jack it up, like.
Yeah, but
this one's for the boys.
What is she? She fucking strangling someone? What is that noise?
Yeah, she's strangling herself. She likes that.
On radio. Yeah. And then she's just like, we'll be back momentarily.
Come on, here, fucking.
But one of the things that she's talking about is how, and again, just to kind of set it up, is about how her grandfather is one of the like founding people of the town. And she's just like, but again, she's just like, my grandfather, he's one of the founding people of the town. And you're like, wait, what are you talking about? Yeah. Stop.
You can find my town.
It's like this. It's just this. She's like the outcast town, like smut radio that everybody's like they're telling their kids like, you know, don't go to station 993 or something, 0.3 or something like that because she's doing that smut radio again.
No, Mom, I wasn't. I was watching porn. Yeah. I know it's that smut radio. I can hear the voice. I've listened to it. She was saying something about the waves crashing against her thighs or some shit. Oh, it's getting a bit rough out there. Just like that fucking pussy. Yeah.
What the fuck? This is basically what it is.
Yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, moving on. We'll come back to it. You know. When she's finished choking out the person that she's got in a radio room. 95.3.
Yeah, you fucking like it.
Here's an hour of music.
Spit in my mouth, you fucking...
Jesus. The fact is, later on, she says to her son, because she just suddenly has a son. Like, there's no... It's just like, oh, she has a kid, by the way.
Yeah,
which is fine, but it's like, it's not set up. You just see this kid running in, and then she wakes up, and she's like, oh, I'm your mum, by the way. This is the kid. And then she's like, oh, he asked if he can come to the radio station, and she's like, oh, no, I'm going to be busy today, maybe later in the week. I was like, you want him in there? He's just sat there listening to his mum, like, and this next section of songs are songs that I really enjoy. Yeah.
While she's like choking out this guy, sexual act.
She's just like, you okay back there, son? Yes, Mum. He's playing with a little fire truck.
Yeah.
Little lighthouse.
I don't like Dave, your boyfriend. He's really weird, and he never says anything. He just gargles.
We're getting way off that topic. Anyway, we're then introduced So we're then introduced to Tom Welling. His character, don't remember his name, just know as
Smallville.
But he's on a fishing boat with one other dude and two other people. And the first thing he said, he walks around, he's like, "Look around you boys, this is God's country." And I was like,
yeah, what the ocean?
What, the ocean? Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, you won't find any better fish and whatever." And, you know, on one hand, I was like, Tom Welling. And on the other hand, I was like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. And then, do you know what? The fucking ads!
Are you feeling lonely, depressed, alone, with no one to talk to?
Yes, I feel that all the time.
Well, we've got the thing for you. Call our sexy hotline so you can talk to sexy hot guinea pigs.
Yay! Hooray! I'll dial them now.
They've got everything you could ever need, from sexy one-liners. Hey, you'll do fuck my guinea pig pussy.
No, okay. We're doing this is the advert bit. We're
doing the thing. We're doing the thing.
When you said you had an idea, I knew it. I should have known it'd be fucking guinea pigs. We need to move away from the guinea pigs, man.
Call now for free guinea pig hot sexy line. Back to the thing.
Hooray!
Thanks, James
fucking
Gordon.
Back to the episode, man. This is the 90-second fucking ad that I had to sit through. Okay, so you guys now have had to do this too.
Oh, we should do
Have
a second
fun.
ad. It's a second ad, like
We'll leave you anticipating a second ad.
Yeah.
But we'll never do it. But maybe we will. But we won't. But maybe. We won't. Maybe we will. That was the 90-second ad that suddenly came in at that point. After the fishing stuff, it just cut in and I was like, "Are you... what?" Man, piss me off.
And then, like, so after that ad break, he goes, like, he's doing this speech about, like, these are the best fish and this is God's country. And then his friend, Wish Ice Cube, is like, he's like...
Wish Cube.
Yeah, Wish Cube. He's like, "Hey, nice speech." And I was like, "Wait, no, it wasn't."
Yeah.
He just said, "Yeah, these are good fish. This is
Got
God's
good fish
country."
around here. God's
Yeah.
country, innit?
Yeah. Anyway, let's go home. I was like,
Yeah.
fucking, this is the worst speech I've ever heard.
And they proceed to, like, Wish Cube tries to raise the anchor back because they're anchored down, and it gets caught on this, like, a bag that we'd seen in the first bit with the ship and the slow-mo scaredy cat fisherman guys.
Yeah.
We'd seen that it fell down to the seafloor. So the anchor, I think, rips the bag open because it gets stuck and, like, all the fish goes off the boat and the boat is, like, going to topple over because they can't get the anchor loose and they're like, what's going on? And then it comes loose. I think because it rips the bag open and then that's why... you get, like, the contents of the bag kind of goes out to the sea because later on it gets washed up and people find them and stuff, whatever.
But, well, then, like, because it gets caught on the thing. Also, it gets caught on a bag. It's like a fucking anchor.
Yeah,
it's like,
I guess, I don't know whether, is the bag supposed to have, like, all this heavy stuff in it or something? I don't know. But that whole, I don't know, maybe we'll get into it a little bit more a bit later, but it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand what the point of it is, because you got this bag full of items, and these items belonged to the people who were on the ship. Spoilers for the end, even though it tells you in the fucking blurb. It turns out that the founding fathers basically had, I don't know, they had like a contract or a deal with the ship for something. I don't remember what it was, but they just turn up.
Land or some shit.
Yeah, and they just turn up and they're like, "Nah, we're going to kill all of you, take your shit, and burn you alive in this boat." So then they take all the stuff, but then it doesn't go to plan, and then they drop the thing, and it goes into the ocean. But then, so people get the item later on. There are things like there's a watch, there's a
hairbrush.
There's a hairbrush. A couple of people, like, pick up these items, or they find them. And I was about to say I thought that they were meant to be all the people who were the descendants of the founding fathers, because some of the main characters are, but they're not all, because the Elizabeth go this one. But, like, I don't know what the point of them was, because it sets it up as if it's like, oh, the fog comes in because these items have been unearthed and it's disturbed the spirits, and you'd assume that they were like attached to these items maybe, and they were coming back and haunting everyone because of the items. So then they're like, oh, we'll have to destroy the items or something. But they just like get the items, weird shit happens kind of around them a bit, and then they forget about them at the end of the film, and it doesn't matter. And then at the very end of the film, it just shows like a picture of the dude with all of the different items, and I don't know, it's just weird. It's like, what's the point in this? Just have the fog come in. Like, it doesn't. I mean, that's not what makes the least sense. We'll get to what makes the least sense later.
Oh, good. Yeah, I can't wait. But
fucking hell!
Like
the ads. No, okay.
But like, so ill-defined the powers of the fog as well, because it's like the first thing. I can't fucking remember what happens. This film is so boring, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
we'll get into when we get to the first fog encounter. We'll talk about that.
So like they're on the boat and like weird shit happens. There's that some guy's fish falls into the water like as the boat's tipping up.
As it's tipping, yeah.
And he goes like, "Hey, my fish!" And I was like, "Bro, you're about to drown. Like, fucking forget about the fish."
Because then the cooler falls open and the beers start falling out, and I thought he was going to go, "My beer!"
Yeah. Then his fishing rod goes into the fucking sea, and he's like, "My fishing rod!"
And his son falls in.
My son! My Playboy magazine!
My radio! My radio that I listened to that smutty radio station with.
Oh, am I falling into the water?
I can see from the lighthouse. Yeah. There's a boat having some issues out there. They look like they're gonna drown.
Drown in this pussy.
I knew it. You know, I knew you'd say that. I'll stop. I know. Oh. And then her son sat there with the boat, and every time she turns around, she's like, "You okay, dear?" Like, "Yes, Mum."
Yeah, you're playing with your little hairbrush that you found in the sea. "Yes, Mum."
"Oh, it's setting on fire." Do you want to put that out? It does that later. We'll get to that. But yeah, so then they get back to shore, and then they're like, "Oh, you know, that was weird," and they kind of get over it. Then they start talking about Wishcube starts saying about whether Smallville's going to go and bang the radio station girl again, right? Because I don't remember why they're talking about it, but it's weird because Wishcube knows all the times that Smallville's gone and banged this woman. He's like, "Hey, come on, it was like 3 times, right? It was once over here, once here, and then once here.
Behind a dumpster."
But yeah. And he's just like, "Oh, no, it was only twice." And then it was like, "Twice every time?"
High fives himself.
And he's just like, "Dude, back off. You're being a bit weird, man." Like this.
Sorry, I've been listening to our radio stations. Got me.
Yeah, it's got me worked up.
I'm really horny.
Go get me egged up.
Everyone in the town's really horny. That's why at the end, like, well, we'll get to the end. But that's why everyone's really horny.
It makes sense. It all makes sense. Everybody's horny, and the fog represents like the societal taboo of fuck's sake. Why is this turned into this? This film has turned into this.
It was meant to be a spooky episode. It's just turned into the sexually frustrated episode.
Yeah. It's just turned into like the proper smut episode. I mean, to be fair, we do have like sexy guinea pigs and stuff in every episode. But, like,
it's all been building up to this. First, it was Alvin, then it was the fucking guinea pigs, and now I'm fucking horny for the
fog. Oh, but anyway, I kept expecting this film to set up things that it didn't set up. So I thought that it was setting up that these items were going to be haunted items and shit was going to happen, they'd have to get rid of them, like Horcruxes or something. But no, I thought it was setting up the kids of the Founding Fathers, because you've got Smallville, you've got Radio Station Lady,
the priest.
I think the priest. So like these kids of the Founding Fathers and then they'd have to, maybe the fog wouldn't affect them, or it was after them or something, but no, none of that.
Yeah, literally.
They say something about like, oh, we'll get there later, but they cover some things which I thought was a suggestion of how they could beat the fog, of like, oh, the fog couldn't get into this, and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be like something that they're going to do. No, none of that either. It just, I don't know, they just have lots of random stuff that doesn't really need to. It's kind of weird, because then it gets creepy really quickly. Where who's the guy? Some guy, and his dog just dies, and he's like, oh no, because the dog is like,
but like for literally no reason, and
the dog's
also,
like steaming.
Yeah, I was like, is it on fire?
Well, because there's a couple times where the fog comes in, and it's like melting or searing away things, but then other times it doesn't do that. So what? I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the power of the fog? Like sometimes
the different levels to the fog or something.
Yeah, and it's like the fucking later on. So he the main dude, Smallville, he's like driving through the town, or he's driving away from the town, and then he sees like his girlfriend.
Well, he just sees some girl. He doesn't know who she is.
Oh yeah. He sees some girl and he's like, hey baby.
He's being a gentleman. And he's like, good evening, milady. Do you need a ride into town?
Yeah. Maybe
and doesn't I'll put on this radio station.
Get you in the mood.
Yeah. But like, he doesn't recognize his own girlfriend's voice? I mean, he says she's been away for like 6 months. She just disappeared or something.
She went
I don't know.
Fucking New York.
Yeah. So, but were they just saying that he like was just cheating like on her then? With
I guess because he banged the fucking Yeah,
but they're just kind of like
Yeah, and he's like
nothing's highlighted. There's never anything. He's just like, oh, you're banging that other chick.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if she ain't around,
yeah,
it's this is God's country.
This is what God wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally like, oh shit, it's my girlfriend. Hey baby, and she's like, you didn't realize it was me, and he's like, no, come on, I knew it was you. I was just joking.
He literally goes shit when he notices that it's her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I knew it was you.
But then they're driving through, well, stuff happens in between this, but they're driving through the town.
Oh, because they start like snogging.
Yeah, but, they're like, yeah, let's
like in the middle of the road. I thought they were literally going to have a sex scene. They were just going to bang in the car in the middle of the road. But then it just cuts away. So I was like, oh, okay.
But they're driving away, and like they're driving, and then the fog breaks all the windows, like not just their car, but like in the town.
Yeah, I looked away for a second, and I thought they'd hit something.
No, the window.
But the windows just explode.
Yeah, and he's like, oh shit. And then, like, I was like, wait, so the fog's there, breaking the windows, but it's not like...
Burning everyone alive.
Burning everyone alive, it's not toxic? It's like, what? What are the powers to the fog?
Nah, see, the fog understands, the structure of horror. You gotta slowly build it up. You gotta smash a couple windows. You knock on some doors. You trip some people over. You make them scared, and then you actually do what you're here to do. It's nuance. It's.
But before that, we get to it's kind of the setup, like you were saying, the setup with the fucking items that never play off.
Yeah.
There's just this weird creepy man who finds I think she gets a compass or a watch, whatever it is.
It's like a pocket watch kind of thing.
Okay, pocket watch. And he's like, this creepy man's like, hey, you want, I've got something for you. It's a pocket watch. Here you go. And I was like,
no, but he doesn't even kind of. He's just looking at her and saying weird shit, and then he's just like, touch it and nothing will ever be the same. And she's like,
I was like,
ooh, nice watch.
Yeah.
Why are you just ignoring how fucking creepy this guy is?
You'd be like, thank you, bye, get away from me.
She clearly knows who he is, though. Like, I get that, like, because he's probably the town. I get the impression that he's like the town nutter who goes around
I don't know, because I thought...
with this metal detector. I thought she called him a name. I thought she knew who he was.
She did. But I thought the thing was, like, she's like a... what would you call it? Like, not an archaeologist, but...
Oh.
You know, like an antique... Someone that looks at antiques and stuff.
Right.
Because I thought he was going up to her being like, oh, I found this thing and it's got this weird hallmark. Maybe you might know what it is if it's worth anything. Really? Well, that's what I assumed. Because she was like, right. I recognize it, but I don't know what it is. And that, like, later in the library, she's trying to work out what the hallmark is, and it's fucking... What is it? It kind of doesn't play off. It's ghost shit.
Just says ghost. Yeah, ghost mole.
He's back.
He's back. Again, he's the villain. But yeah, he's just like super creepy, and she takes no notice of it.
Yeah,
she's just like, oh, cool watch, and she's like having a look and seeing what it is, and it's covered in all barnacles, and she's like, it's still ticking, and he's like, it wasn't before.
She's like, oh, that's interesting. Bye.
Yeah, that's how funny. How funny. Do you want this back, or can I hold on to it? It's very nice. And he's like, I will bathe in the blood of the sinners. And she's like, okay, thank you.
The sinners, huh? Cool. Anyway, let me put on this radio station. I'll bathe in your blood.
Yeah.
She's like a sadist.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like...
And then, you know what? Another fucking ad. 30 seconds long.
Oh, good.
You got this creepy guy like, touch it and nothing will ever be the same. My kids are crazy, so I give them this. And it's fucking
heroin.
Horse tranquilizer.
Ketamine. My kids never go to bed. Oh, really, Gillian? Well, maybe you should try ketamine. I lace it in their cereal every morning. One of them's dead.
Anyway, talking about drunk kids. We then go to the party boat because
the
Wish Cube.
Wish Cube has nicked the boat.
Dancing out.
Yeah, he's nicked the boat and he's like, "Oh, come on, ladies, let me misogynize you on this boat."
He's got a camera and he's filming. It's another dude and two girls who are just kind of in with their like bikini tops.
Yeah.
And then they're all just like dancing around a bit. And then he's like, he tells the guy to swap, I guess for the guy to like man the boat or something. But I'm assuming that they're anchored. So I don't know what he's asking the guy to swap him to do. But he's like, oh, swap round. And he's going to the girls like, oh yeah, let's dance. And it's just like this really awkward, just like him and these two girls just waving their arms about a bit. And he's like, oh yeah, let's give me some of that. And he's like filming them. It's just so awkward and weird. And he asks them if they're twins.
Yeah.
And like, the girl has a blonde wig for some reason.
Oh, yes, she does.
She just, because he's like, oh, I'm here with these twins. And they're like, we're not twins. And one of the girls just takes her hair off. And she's a brunette. Like, she just has a wig on for no reason. And then he's just like, oh. And they're like, are you twins? And no, he says something like, well, we're not twins, so I guess this is going to work. And I'm like, well, are you going to have a fucking foursome on this boat? Who is this woman? Why is she wearing a wig? What is going on?
And then also, like,
She got it on Wish.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I ordered a Wish ice cube and this wig came with it. Like, not sure if it was a mistake. But they're like, the fog comes in and it breaks all the electronics and stuff. And their little speaker or whatever stops working. And the chicks that were dancing, it stops working. And instead of being like, oh, creepy, they're like, well, I'm not dancing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even get a working radio.
He's like, oh, I've got it from Wish.
No foursome for you. And then he's like, because the other guy, whoever his name, I don't know who the other guy is.
Who cares?
But he goes down to like try and see what's going on, see if he can fix it. And you can hear Wish Cube in the background trying to stop the girls from, because they're going to like pick up their coats to put them on.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, clothes bad, naked good.
He says a bunch of weird shit as well, because he's like, he goes like, the fucking the other guy is like, oh, the engine's fucking stopped working. Apparently, also on the weather radar, there's like this weird fog that I can't see, but it's coming in, like this weird invisible fog. And then he's like, who cares? We got beer. And I'm like, why aren't you bothered? You're in the middle of the ocean and your fucking engine stopped working. There's clearly something going on with like this fog on a radar that you can't see. And he's like, hey, we got beer and women.
Yeah. Got my beers. Got my Stella.
Yeah, got my Stella. Shut up. Boy, come in. Take your coat off. Get that sexy guinea pig back.
Yeah.
Put on G-Force.
Yeah, let's say watch G-Force.
They're like, we don't really want to watch. Shut up! I'm watching it. We're watching G-Force and then we're having sex.
Oh no, he's just like, I've got these guinea pig costumes.
And it's not like a sexy one, it's literally like a full head to toe rubber suit of a guinea pig.
No.
He's like, yeah, put this on.
Fuck's sake, this is just what this has become now.
The sex podcast.
We should just it's just the podcast where we talk about which animated creatures that we want to fuck.
Yeah, well,
Number
Shag,
one,
marry,
Alvin.
kill.
Yeah. But anyway,
but then the fucking, that's what I'm saying about what are the rules of the fucking fog? Because it breaks the windows of the boat, breaks all the instruments, stops an engine, and then fucking picks up a knife.
Yeah, so
like
you have
fog.
I get that it's like, because it's only later on that you see the actual ghostly spirits in the fog. So is it supposed to be a ghostly spirit that's doing that? But the fog itself, you have like an animated thing of it going into the vents and into the engine.
Yeah.
So that's how it stops the engine from working or something. But then, is it like melting the engine or freezing the engine? It doesn't really kind of make sense. But then they're all looking at the control panel stuff and it all explodes. And by the way, they would be blind. Like, the glass exploded into their eyeballs. They would be blind, like bleeding everywhere. And they're just like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
And then, like, can it possess...
then it picks up the knife,
Yeah, but then also, does it possess people? Because one of the...
Kind of?
One of the twins is, like... They're, like, the glass breaks, and then... and then the, like, creepy shit's all going on. And then she starts, like... She's being all weird, and then she's, like, starts drawing the fucking hallmark on the window.
Yeah, it's like scales, right?
Yeah. And I was like, who's that for?
Which is what you see everywhere. Yeah, she just starts drawing that, and her friend's like, what are you doing? And then she turns around and just... But she doesn't look like evil or anything. She just looks like her normal self, kind of scared, as she does that. And she turns around, and then you kind of see the other two guys see from the outside of the cabin, like, it's like screaming, and like, ah! And then a hand does the boom, down the window. And oh my god, I thought it was so funny because these girls just fly out of the windows. They look like somebody, you know, like you just imagine like 4 people, one of them, each person holding one limb. So 2 on the arms, 2 on the legs, and they're all doing the swing where they're just like 1, 2, 3, yep. And they just throw them through the window, just like, psh, and they're just these like, whee! It looks so fucking dumb. And because they go through each window, and then the knife just flies out the cabin and stabs the other guy in the eye and kills him.
Yeah.
And I put that these typical old sailor men don't like technology, so that's why they're destroying it all. They're all I don't understand it, these young'uns and their techno babble.
Engine? Disgusting.
No, I'll use sails.
Get this knife out of here.
The beautiful God's country of the sea.
Oh, good.
Give me an oar and I'm happy. Anyway.
But then it's like later on, they like... Oh, because they go back to, like, the guy that fucking Smallville's like, oh, fucking wish Ice Cube has nicked my boat, we gotta go find him.
Yeah.
And then they, like, go talk to this guy I think his name was Hank. Is the same guy that had his dog like burnt or something?
Oh right. I mean, we just start to see that he's got like his fucking face is falling off.
Yeah, his face is like
I never realized it
off.
was supposed to be. Is it supposed to be leprosy? Is that what it's supposed to be?
So.
Because I had no idea. I was just like, why are all these people's faces fucked up?
And yeah, it's just his face.
And like regular people.
And then he's like, yeah, they took the boat. You can borrow my boat to go look for him. And he's like, thanks. But he's got loads of cuts on his face, and no one mentions it. No one like questions.
Yeah, just like, even like, oh my god, what happened?
Yeah.
Because it looks awful.
Yeah,
it literally looks like his face is being eaten away.
Yeah,
like,
and they're just like, where's the fucking boat? Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Can I borrow your boat? Fuck you. I was like, damn, rude. What's your problem? But then,
and then, ads interrupt him mid-sentence. I didn't note down the time on the ads there because I mean it's like 60, 30 or 90 seconds. It'll be one of them. I fucking hate them. It pissed me off now, and I've seen the film, and I don't have to watch any more ads.
I loved it because it was so funny. It'd be like mid-sentence, like building up tension, and it'd be like, your internet provider isn't as good as this internet provider. Just so funny. But like
the number one UK blah blah blah.
Shit, like the fucking it's like earlier before that, or maybe it's after it, I can't remember. But Elizabeth, is it? The
Elizabeth is a girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend of Smallville. She's like, because she's got this fucking watch, so creepy shit's happening to her, I guess. But then it's just happening to everyone, so who knows? But she like wakes up, she hears banging on a door or something, and she goes out like.
Well, she's having a dream, isn't she? There's a few times in the film where she kind of has some weird dreams, basically.
Yeah. And like,
she tells him about this, and there's all this banging and like shit's going on, whatever.
Yeah, and then she hears it, and she sees some weird like footsteps on the ceiling and all that. So she like walks out in a nightie to like the shore or something. She's like, what's going on? And then there's like almost like a jump scare because she's like looking out into sea, and then Smallville grabs her and he's like, what are you doing? And then the noise it makes as he like grabs her shoulder, it's just like a single note on a violin, and it's just like Why? And it just sounds like the fucking, you know, the Metal Gear noise. It's just like
the detected. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it just sounded exactly like that. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, we've had Fall Out Boy.
The fog rolls in, and then they get like cardboard boxes, and they hide under them.
Oh, amazing. I was just like, we've had Fall Out Boy, now we've had fucking Metal Gear. What the fuck is this fucking film?
It's so fucking dumb. I just wanted a point where somebody's in danger, and then Smallville doesn't know about it, and then they're like, somebody save me.
Fuck it.
That'd be great, you know.
Stupid. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Can we have that on every film? Yeah. Fucking the most inappropriate moment in the film, and it's like boom, boom, boom. But yeah, so they go out to the boat, and they just find it. I mean, finding a boat in the middle of I'm sure it's not that far out, but like they just managed to go out and find this boat. Seems kind of abandoned. They're like, what the fuck has happened? Everything's smashed up, and they're kind of having a look at everything, trying to figure it out. And Smallville goes below deck, and it's weird. I don't understand. Were they in the like hammocks or something? Or
yeah, and the like crew little sleeping thing.
Yeah, which I guess is supposed to be related to something later. But like he checks the thing, and then it's like, Ree! And there's this guy, you know, the guy from before, who got the knife in his eye.
Yeah.
His eyes are like sewn shut, right?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's kind of unexplained and weird. He's just his dead body's there, and he's like, oh my god, and his eyes are sewn shut, and it's like and he goes back up the cabin, into the out the thing onto the deck with where the girl is, and his face, he just comes out, and she's like, where's the people? And he's like, oh, he's dead. It's like, oh, that guy's dead. Like, he's so... The way he says it... The thing is, I love Tom Welling, but he does have a very, like, stiffness to him.
Yeah, but also
at like points.
I think the
but also the right...
Yeah,
like, it's...
so shit.
I mean, in this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I think that is also due to the dialogue. Yeah, he just kind of comes out and he's like, oh, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
And then he says a bit more like, oh, it's gross, it's horrible.
But also, like, so he finds the so nice guy in the bed, and then she finds Elizabeth. She finds the two twins, like under, like caught up in the fishing net or something, like under the water. So she lifts them up.
They're like the Craigslist twins.
But then I was like, they didn't die there. They died on the deck. Like all three of them, like died on the deck. So that means the fog killed them. Picked up that one dude, sewed his eyes shut, put him in the bed, and then like put the girls in the fucking fishing net.
Yeah, but, I mean, later we do see in the morgue like that guy's the sewn eye guy. Like it's sewn eyes, the so nice guy.
He's so nice.
He's so nice with his sewn eyes. And we see him kind of get up and reanimate and say some shit and then die again.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I just got them up and whatever. But it's just weird. It's like, there's a lot of stuff which is, they don't really think about why it's creepy. They're just like, oh, just do this.
Yeah. They don't think about like, oh, it's the fog. Like, but is the fog making is it fog or is it pirate ghosts that
exactly. The whole thing is pirate ghosts that come with the fog. So the fog really isn't much of an issue, apart from the fact when it burns things for some reason.
Like it goes through this woman's, like, she breathes it in and then she like crumbles from the inside or something. It's just like so fucking stupid. But then like she later on, here's an example of why the fucking dialogue's so shit, because we see the radio station lady, her son like picked up this hairbrush or whatever from the sea. She's picked it up and then it spontaneously combusts.
Not in the son's hand. The son picks it up on the beach, brings it to her. She's like, "Oh, this is interesting." Yeah, and then she's got it in her in her radio
the station room. Yeah, it spontaneously combusts, sets on fire. She puts it out, and then she rings home she's like, oh, hey, you know that hairbrush you picked up? Don't pick up anything else from the beach. And then the kid's like, okay, I won't. Hangs up. Then the grandma or whoever's looking after him, she's like, who was that? And he's like, oh, nothing. Anyway, I'm going to go and pick stuff up from the beach. It's just like, what? Fucking shit.
I know. He was just like, fuck you, Mum. I'm going to the beach to pick up some things. I'm gonna get more and set fire to stuff. But, I mean, earlier back on the boat when they find all the dead people, what's-her-face, Elizabeth, opens like a big freezer locker, which I didn't think they'd have on a boat like that.
Yeah, that boat that they're on is tiny, but then suddenly the deck
underneath
below
is like
massive.
huge.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way."
I understand that it probably goes
that.
down like the other. It's not just contained within the cabin; it like goes underneath the rest.
Yeah,
of the
for
boat,
sure.
But it is definitely
like,
way
it's
too
not
big.
That big.
Yeah, and she goes down, and there's a freezer locker thing, and she opens it, and Wish Cube, which is another reason I was calling him Ice Cube.
Brilliant.
That was the original reason, and then I actually looked at his picture, and I was like, or saw him a bit later in the film as well, and I was like, actually, no, he does look like Discount Ice Cube.
Yeah, and he's like playing that exact same character that Ice Cube would play. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But he's curled up in the freezer, and she's like, oh my god, and then his eyes open, he's like, and she's like, oh my god. And they get the ambulance and everything, and you never see any of the kind of, I don't know, the police side of things, where the police are there and being like, oh my god, there's okay, no, you see some of it, but not in terms of like a kind of lots of weird things have been happening, what's going on in our town. It's like, oh, all these people are dead on the boat, it must have been Wish Cube we reckon
it must
it's
have been
him.
this black male.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
like
a deep
the only
analogy
surviving
of-
person. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, because it's literally just like, oh, what, you think he smashed all the windows, like stabbed this man, and then sewed his eyes shut?
Yeah.
Like threw these two women through a window and then drowned them or whatever.
And
in
however
a
they
fishnet.
died before, 'cause
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, and then put them in a fishnet, then climbed into the freezer.
Yeah, and then tried to like kill himself.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
just like,
they're like, oh, this guy's psycho, but then he's like clearly traumatized and
yeah.
it's weird, and because what's her face Elizabeth finds the camera that Wishcube had, right?
Yeah.
And she's like watching the whole thing through of them all being like attacked and stuff, and she's like, oh my god, this is awful. Why wouldn't they keep what? How? Okay,
How did she get it? Yeah,
they bought it back. Did she before they got to the police? Did she like find the camera and decide to just like hide it and keep it? Because the police would definitely keep that as evidence. It's video recording evidence of what happened.
And also,
even if they didn't know if the camera had anything on it, there'd be a fucking camcorder or whatever. Because it's 2005, so it's a camcorder. There's a camcorder there. They would take that and be like, no, this is vital evidence. You can't have this. And she's like, but I need to throw it in the water and ruin that bit of the plot for no reason.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, fucking, this guy's surely, like, even if they hadn't noticed it, like, they're gone, they're still on the boat.
She just
the
like
policeman
picked up
there. She picks it up. Sure, your friend is going down for murder, and you're like, oh, there's a video camera.
I wonder if there's anything on this.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention it though. This could potentially save this guy from going
life
down.
in jail.
Yeah, life in jail. This guy
or in a psych ward.
Yeah. And you're like, oh no, I'll take it home. Oh, I dropped it in the water. Whoopsie. Haha.
Yeah. It's just, oh my god, it's just ridiculous. Because then we have the whole scene where she is researching. What did you call it? Like the marks.
The hallmark
thing. The hallmark on the watch, right?
Yeah.
And she's looking it up, she's trying to figure it out, and she's having some flashback shit and kind of getting all weird about it because she recognizes she's like, familiar for some reason. And what is it she's walking across to? Because she sees something across the water. Because again, where is she? She's in some kind of like.
I thought she was in the library.
Yeah, but then it's just across the room from her, right? There's just like this plank over some water.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is that she's actually
She's in
sat.
the library looking it up, and then suddenly she's in the boathouse or something.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's really weird. Because then she sees something across the water inside the boathouse, because it's got that kind of water bit in the middle where I guess, where you bring the boats into.
Yeah.
And then there's a plank of wood that runs across that so you can walk across. And she starts walking across it and classically kind of missteps and slips into the water. But she slips in and then she's just lying there in the water as if she'd like hit her head or something. But if you fell into some water, even if it's a bit deep, you just immediately surface. As soon as you hit the bottom, or if it's not that deep, you just you stand up. Like, unless you fell in head first and hit your head on a shallow rock, you're not going to just randomly just fall unconscious. Even with the shock of the water, I think you'd freeze up a bit or something first. You go unconscious. But yeah, she just kind of does a bit of that, and then she's trying to surface, but the weeds are keeping her, and then she's having all these flashbacks to people we don't know who are drowning, and she's like, ah! And then she just it just lets her go, and she just gets up.
She just gets up and she's like, well, that was weird anyway, bye.
Yeah, because she's grabbing on the wall to try and get some purchase on the wall and escape. And she's pulling all these rocks away that she's trying to grab onto because they all come loose. And she just finds this diary in there, and she's like, oh, I'll keep that. And, throws it up onto the side and then gets out of the water.
Yeah.
It's just this random diary that's in this random wall in the boathouse.
It's the exposition diary.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
in the diary later, it's like, these men betrayed the leprosy people, and The leprosy people died on the boat because they burnt the boat. The leprosy people had land because they had a contract, but then they didn't fulfill the contract because the ancestors burnt them. Anyway, goodbye. Also, there is fog. Don't go into the fog. Fog is scary. Anyway, goodbye. I've been the book. I've been the exposition book. Good
I've
night.
been your book this evening.
Yeah. Subscribe. Please, if you liked this book, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification button.
Recommend this book to a friend. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. And she has that whole thing, and then you've got the whole thing of like that's when the hairbrush burns in the lighthouse, and then she calls the son, and the son's like,
"Fuck you."
She's like, "Don't pick up stuff," and the kid's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go do it some more."
Yeah.
And then, you know what time it is. Ads. You can see my slow decline into insanity on my notes, because every ads thing is in block capitals, and then this particular entry is just ads. Fucking hated it.
Maybe I should have told you.
Yeah,
but it's kind of better that.
Yeah, because then we return to it's kind of the village or town, whatever, hospital. You've got Wishcube there because he's recovering.
Yeah.
Which earlier when they were talking to him and he was on like the stretcher, anytime he moves, there's the sound of like ice kind of cracking as if he's like still frozen.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that he didn't freeze to death in the freezer. I mean, we don't know how long he was in there for, but it wouldn't take that long. And he's got his brows are all frosted up and everything. But yeah, when he moves, you hear the cracking. I was like, he's not that frozen. He'd be dead. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, he's thawed out by now as well. It must have been a few hours.
Yeah, and then the detective guy who's accusing him while he's half dead says something about like, well, we'll wait for him to thaw out. You know, I'll leave him to thaw out or something. I was like, all right, dude, like, give him some time. Fuck. Even if he did do it, I don't know.
Good.
Yeah, and then you've got is in the hospital, and Smallville has gone to kind of go see his friend, and the detective is there and stuff, and they're basically just like, we found this knife on the boat, and Wishcube, being the intelligent man that he is like, but that's my knife, and then they do this look that's like,
oh, he's guilty.
Well, that's him in jail. It's a real shame. And then he goes, oh, damn it. I was like, what the fuck? It's because he's probably like mad morphine.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, that's my knife that I used to kill. No, I didn't kill them. I didn't do. I stabbed. No, did I stab him in the face? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of high right now on this morphine that you've pumped into me.
Yeah. Yeah, and then fucking Smallville's
this is not a reliable statement.
Yeah, Smallville's like, actually, that's my knife, but I'm not going to mention that. He's taking the fall for this.
He's taking the. Thanks for biting the bullet, bud. You know, but because he goes there with Elizabeth, right? Because then she just goes walking in the hospital and just wanders into the fucking morgue or whatever they're using as a temporary morgue space. It's just a small room with 3 stretchers of bodies on them.
Yeah.
She could just walk in there, the door's just open, and she just I don't know why she's doing it. She just starts picking up the fucking sheets that are over them and having a look at them. She's just taking a peek at the different people and with this sad face like, oh no, that's bad.
Yeah.
Ooh,
look at this one.
Really, oh no, that's awful. Yeah. They're definitely dead.
Look at this one. Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah. Because the whole point, because the whole point of it is that then, you know, you have the spooky, scary, what's his face stands up in the back, the sewn eyes guy. He stands up and then he grabs her and he says, blood for blood. And she's like, ah, starts screaming and he collapses and then they all walk in like, what's going on? Because they must have thought that she just like dragged the body off and dumped him there and then started screaming. Because like, what the fuck happened?
What is wrong with you? Why did you pick it up and then move it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think it's a bit later on, and then the what's her face? The radio station lady. She's got like, she's video calling some. Is it her husband or something, or like her?
No, I don't think.
or...
No,
it's just some random guy.
That's the thing. Is it's like he's the weather guy, right? He's Dan the weatherman or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right, and they just, I think because they probably put, I think she'll be doing a radio station stuff, and then she's like, and now it's on to Dan the weather guy, and
now it's the shipping forecast.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, I don't think she does, because I think she just mentions like, oh, it looks like Dan's going to be accurate this thing. So I don't know what that is about, but he is just some dude that she knows who is clearly trying to like creep on her all the time. Like he just has, because he calls her, it's him, right? He calls her and she's like, oh, I told you, or like, oh, I don't know why I ever gave you this number.
Yeah,
because he's like calling her and trying to hit on her and stuff, and then he like sends her a webcam so that they can video call each other and chat. So weird. And
then so like he gets a visit from the fog, and then the way he fucking dies is insane.
Yeah.
Like, so all the electrics go out, so he's like, oh shit, I'll get this oil lamp and see what's banging on the door, like, because that's not creepy as shit. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, I'm staying inside forever now.
I'm calling the police. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the fog starts coming underneath the door, right? But then when he goes near it, it retracts.
It's like,
again, I thought, oh, maybe fire is like, because he had an oil lamp.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe this is like a thing, like the oil lamp, the fire, like, because they were from the 1800s, so maybe that's something that they fear.
Oh, because the boat burnt down.
Because
they
because
don't
the
like
boat
the fire.
burnt down. Like maybe it's a thing. No, it just, I don't know. Wasn't a thing.
It was like
just wasn't a thing.
I'm gonna get him. Oh, he's coming. I'm gonna sneak back out. It's like, oh.
I've been fishing. That's what you do. You reel him in, and then you let it go, then you reel him in.
But then, it's fucking like he goes out and like drops the oil lamp, and he just fucking instantly gets set alight. Like, it's instant. He drops the oil lamp, it smashes on the ground, and then he's just like, whoom, like set on fire. Then the fog fucking like picks him up and like throws him through the air like the twins from earlier. It's just like,
it just throws him through another window that into the room that he records and stuff in.
Yeah,
that he broadcasts from, and he goes flying against the other wall. And of course, she's still on because the power went out, but the laptop is still on. She's like, "Huh, how come?" And he looks at her. He's like, "Batteries." Like that's some revelation. And she sees him being thrown against the wall, and he's on fire and everything. And she's like, "Ah!" And she's calling the police and being like, "Oh, you need to do this," but I think it doesn't work. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's no signal or some shit. Who cares?
Yeah.
And because she's all freaked out. So she's like, on her radio station, she's like, "Oh my god, help me! Someone go to my house and check on my son. I live at this address. Please go check on my son." Like on live radio television.
Yeah.
Like, my son is alone in the house.
Yeah.
Please.
I guess if she lives in like a small town, they know everybody. But still.
I guess. I was like,
but still, you never know. Also, I made the note because you've got a scene, I think just before it gets to that, you have a scene with the kid where he's going back to the house and then the fog starts coming in. Oh, no. He's on the beach and he sees the metal detector guy from earlier.
Oh, yeah, the creepy weird guy.
Yeah, he like finds one end of some rope in the sand and he's like pulling up the rope and following it along. And then he's just getting like wrapped in the rope, and then the sea takes him and he dies or something. It's just kind of weird. Like, what are you doing? Why are you carrying on?
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, "Oh no, that's spooky." And the fog starts coming in, and then the kid is running home with the fog chasing him. And the way that the fog was chasing him, I was like, "Oh my god, it's The Happening all over."
Yeah,
again.
literally, this is like
running away from wind cousin. Again. Yeah. Yeah,
the Happening is the trees have evolved and they've started producing fog instead of wind.
Yeah, but yeah, and then like you said, she's broadcasting to everybody help my somebody go save my son, and this guy's in danger. He's actually dead now, and there's a fire at this place. But it's broadcasting to everyone. It comes out of the kind of dashboard on his car, for Superman's car. Yeah. He is at an event thing where they're doing like a speech stood by the new statues that were built for the Founding Fathers, right? That's the mayor and whoever the woman is. I think it's supposed to be Elizabeth's mum or something.
I don't know.
I don't know because
the plot's so loose and also so fucking
because I'm
boring.
sure she calls him her mum because she's like, oh, my mum is in this place, and they have to go and find her later on. So I think it is meant to be her mum because there's like they share these looks and stuff that are supposed to be meaningful, but apart from that, nothing really happens. So I think it's supposed to be her mum, but then that doesn't make sense, and we get to that. And then, if they're at this place where there's police and everything, why aren't they talking to the police and being like, look, somebody's calling for help?
Yeah.
We need to go and check on this. He's like, get in the car, we've got to go help. She's saying it on the radio.
Yeah.
There's police there.
They go like fucking... that bit's stupid as well, because they go and save the kid, but they see Fogs about, and they see the kid inside, and he just like smashes through the window. It's like, hey kid, come with me. You don't know me, but come with me. Like, I've just smashed through your window. I was like, you don't know what's going on
like
there.
The first floor, not the ground floor even. Yeah. Instead of, like, he had no idea to go and save the kid from the fog that's eaten his grandma.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, something's going on, safe, go check on my kid.
Yeah, so instead of going through the front door, he just smashes through his bedroom window.
He's like, hey kid, come here, you don't know me, but come with me, I've smashed your window.
This is
the kid's like, okay.
I was going to say, this is the point in the film where there's just a lot of, like, people driving in the fog and then being hit by cars.
Yeah, and like, spooky stuff's going. By this point, I was just like, oh, fucking this. Yeah. Just get on with it.
You're just like, come on. This is the point, I think, when Aiden sent me a message saying about how great the ending of this was. And I did not believe him, but he kept insisting. So I was like, where could this possibly go to redeem it?
I was like, no, honestly, I thought this film was really dumb, but then the ending was really like impactful and meaningful.
And like deep and meaningful and like it really... And he insisted as well. And I was like, I can't see where this could possibly go. Spoilers, he was lying. But
you see... Sorry, I was just going to say, like, that bit with the fucking... when they save the kid and they get into the car and they're like, oh, quick, drive away from the fog. And the Elizabeth, she's in the driver's seat and she's like trying to get the truck or whatever it is in gear. And she can't do it. She's like, it's stuck. And then fucking Smallville's like, let a man do it.
Yeah, I know.
Just fucking like slides across, does it first try. Like, no, it's because you're a woman and you can't drive.
I made the note that just said, let the man drive, yes.
I was just like, wait, can she not just have something? Can she not have anything to do? Like,
yeah,
you can't let her just drive away? Really?
And maybe it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be a hint to something else later. But also, no, because that's dumb and it's bad and it doesn't make sense. You set it up that she's like, it's jammed. It's not gonna. The car won't start. It's not gonna work. It's all dead. And then he just gets in. And he's like, you just fucking turn the key. What are you doing?
Bloody women! Bloody women!
Fuck's sake! Because then you then like what's his name? What do we call him?
Smallville?
Cube. Fucking not Ice Cube. What do we call him? Wish Cube. That was it. Yeah, so Wish Cube, we just have a quickly thrown in thing of the hospital bed that he was in, and the detective stood there with another detective, and he's like, I think he escaped through the window, and he's like, no shit. And that's it. And then we see Wish Cube out on the bay docks, kind of going to find a boat, and he's like, saying to himself, I'm going to get a boat and get off this island, get out of here. And I was kind of like, I mean, I guess fair enough, you don't care about your friends and stuff. You just that's fine. You do that.
Like, fuck this shit.
Well, I think it's because he knows about that scary stuff that happened because he's seen it, but he's kind of, is he primarily running from possibly going to
The
jail?
police?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe both. Who knows? But he goes there. He goes to the docks. He's got some keys, but he doesn't know which one for. So he's just going to try and figure it out. And the priest is there for some reason, just sitting there.
He's just chilling.
And they kind of chat a little bit. The priest is like always. He's the classic kind of drunk priest. He's always like haunted look on his face.
Yeah.
And he says some spiel. I don't remember what it is. But they then just see again, because they saw it in the beginning when they first got attacked on the boat. They see this big kind of ghostly ship sail past with all of these guys like stood on the kind of what you call it, on the rigging or on the front and on the side of the ship, all this kind of stuff. And they just, it's so funny the way they're all posed and they all just go past. And I was like, man, the boys on that boat are just vibing. They're vibing hard because they're just, it's like a mood. They just stood on this boat posing and like hanging off the rig, just like boom.
It's the party boat. It's the ghost party boat.
Like, put different music over that and it would give it such a different, like, it's like a music video, right? Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, no, I guess we can't take any of the boats? Maybe because the boats would be destroyed or something, I don't know. But they just, he doesn't leave.
They're like, run to the town hall, and they get to the town hall and creepy shit's happening, and they kill the ghost fog is like, we must have revenge on the ancestors of like the people. But not all of them will let fucking Smallville and the radio lady, they can live.
But are they just killing them though? I don't know. They're just sort of killing. Oh no! Oh, sorry. You mean ancestors in general, like everyone in the yeah. But then not everybody in the town is one of their.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
descendants, right? Because
like,
they make a point of saying like, "Oh, you're descended from the forefathers."
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like what.
I guess maybe it's just like the town was already there, and then the forefathers were the specific people who did something. It's so vague. I don't know.
Yeah, literally, there's it never explains really what like the point of the fog, like why the fog is getting revenge. They're just like, yeah, fuck this town. We want revenge, but it's like for what and who against? Like,
yeah,
because it was like that was the thing. I was like, well, so they want to get revenge on the forefathers, but they just let it slide for some of them. And, like, they're killing everyone else, so what, like, if they're just killing everyone else, weird. Then what is the point? It's so dumb. And then...
Because and you kind of, because you're getting these flashbacks through Elizabeth, where or these kind of, like, visions of how those ghostly people died, you're seeing that they died in... And it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's been done, and it's not really done in a... It's not well done, so I can't really give it credit. But like, they're being killed in the same way, in the same sort of ways that the people on the boat were killed. And like, all the banging that we heard before was the guy banging on the side of the ship to let them know to let them up. And stuff like that. You know, it's stuff that happened before, and we're seeing it all kind of being played out again, and people being killed. Like, I think all the glass breaking was deliberate because they broke some of the glass on the ship to try and escape or something because of all the fire.
I guess.
I assume. And it was at this point. Now, I had already... There was a certain flashback earlier where you see a woman sat in a chair. You don't see her face. You see the captain go to her, and they're clearly together, and he's like smiling or something. And I don't remember what, but they're all fucking leprosy out. And I saw this woman. I was like, is that Elizabeth? Because that kind of looks like Elizabeth, right? That's kind of weird. Is this going to be like a thing? And then later on, there's something more, and I don't remember what it was, but there was a bit where I was like, okay, I mean, Elizabeth is a kind of a super old-timey name as well, but the ship was called the Elizabeth Dane, I think, because every time a bit of electronics goes haywire, you see the word Dane on the screen.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, never explained. We'll just move on. But fucking so dumb. But the ship was also called the Elizabeth Dane.
Yeah.
So I guess they named it after this woman because what we do find out is that she was one of the people on the boat back then.
Or still is, because it's not... It's... Okay, I thought they were going to give this an explanation, because they're all in the town hall, and then the woman that she said was her mum. She said that, right? I'm sure she said, my mum's in the town hall.
She goes and meets her, and her mum's like, oh, you're back then?
Yeah.
She's all called, like, cold hard bitch, but, like, she's definitely got a mum.
Yeah, because then the mum gets, like, it just gets, like, whoop, taken out of the town hall through a window, and never seen again. And then they say something, I don't remember what this... I've got a line here that I wrote down. I don't know what it was in response to, because I think maybe they were saying about, like, oh, they're after the forefathers or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Wish Cube is like, yeah, keep my father out of this. We from Chicago. It's like, okay, what is this? Why are you here? It literally feels like a kind of token black guy kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Really
it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. So then... I also made the note saying how much glass did they have to shatter just for this one film? There's so many slow-mo glass shattering shots. But then they go... So the ghosts come in, they take the mayor, and they drag him out to the graveyard, or he runs out to the graveyard and they chase him. No, it's like a weird thing where he's like always stumbling backwards as if he's being pushed, but the ghost is just walking after him. And then he ends up in the graveyard, and all the ghosts appear around him, and then the main one goes up, and he's like, the contract! And then he hands it to him.
And he sets on fire.
And he's like, do you believe in ghost stories, Miss Turner? Because you're in one.
You've got a debt to pay.
Souls. You're afraid to get wet. But yeah, so he hands him the contract, and he looks at it, and then it starts burning in his hands, and he's like, ah! And then he sets on fire, and then he dies burning. He's just like in the thing, and he dies burning, and all the ghosts are there. And then Smallville and Elizabeth see it, and they're like, oh shit. And Smallville's like, let's get the fuck out of here before they come after us. And she's like, yeah. And then she stops, and she turns, and she looks at them, and then she, like, looking afraid. This whole time, she's like, completely afraid. There's no... I was expecting a moment where it was like, oh, I was faking the whole time. But even then, that would have been fucking dumb, because there's so much stuff where she was genuinely, like, afraid that she was about to drown and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? So she then walks towards the ghosts. They all look at her. The ghost captain walks up to her, and she walks up to him, and he puts two hands on the side of her face, and she looks like she's gonna shit herself because she's so scared, and she's like got her eyes closed, and then he puts his gross rotten teeth to her face. Now, this guy doesn't have much of a face. He's mainly a skeleton.
He hasn't got lips.
And he hasn't got lips, he's just got teeth. And then there's a weird kiss thing with the fucking ghost. Kisses her with his teeth. And then the camera starts going around them, and he starts, like, I don't know, getting his face back, and then she kind of does the same, even though she had a face, but she's then in old-timey clothes, and they start kissing, and then she, like, starts becoming transparent, and then she's a ghost, and then like, Tom Welling turns up, and he's like, what the actual fuck is this? And this is do you want me to read? This is what I have on my notes, right, for this end of the film. Because that's what happens. And at this point, all on separate lines, I've got, are they not going to actually explain it? She literally became a ghost and then disappeared? No, they cannot leave it like that. How the fuck? And then in capitals, no, fuck.
Yeah, because it just fucking ends.
It just, she just
cool.
disappears with the ghosts.
Bye.
And then the fog goes, see you later, and disappears.
And then it ends!
And it basically ends. Like, that's it.
It
makes no sense. I don't understand. No, do you know what it does? Even worse than that, it ends on the note where the lady's talking over the radio as you see Tom Welling, like, I don't know, back on his boat and doing shit, or I don't remember, people just getting on with their lives. And she's like, no one really knows what happened or why any of this happened, and maybe we never will. I'm gonna go jack off. Like, I don't understand. They just went, fuck it, I don't know, she's a ghost the whole time, and she disappears with the other ghosts. What do you want?
Like,
end the film. It's 18 million, doesn't cost that much.
Is she the same? Was she a ghost the whole time? Is it because her name's Elizabeth and they're like, oh, she's called
I
Elizabeth?
literally don't. It can't be that she's a descendant of them, right? Because they all fucking burned in the ship and died.
Yeah.
Nobody made it out.
Yeah, exactly. So wait, she fucking... what?
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't make... Like, who is she? Because she's an established person who lives there. She has a mum. She went away for 6 months. She came back.
Yeah.
She exists. She's there. What, did we miss something? I don't understand.
Or is she like... Is the ghost like, oh, she kind of looks like that chick, and she's like, oh, well, I guess, I'll save everyone else by kissing this bloke.
And it's like, she says in the beginning, oh, this looks familiar, talking about the watch. You know, they have this like it was a pre-planned thing, but I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Who is she? Why did she just become a ghost? So if she was a ghost the whole time, how does that work? She was a person.
Why was she scared? Well, why was she scared of the fog if she was fucking in on it all the time? Like, wait.
So she must not have known. So is she? But then the other ghosts only came into town after the stuff turned up on the shore. So how does any of this make sense? Oh, it just pissed me off. And I saw it was happening. And I was like, no, Aiden's fucking with me. I know this is some bullshit.
Good film, good ending.
Because he was like, this has got to be one of my favourite films, or my favourite film that we've done. And I was like, bullshit, what is this? It pissed me off to no end. It almost annoyed me as much as the ads. When it's beyond sense and beyond reason, they're just like, she's a ghost. And then in the writer's room, they're like, huh? It's like, brilliant. She's one of them. It's called the Elizabeth, right? She was a ghost the whole time. She's one of the ghosts. She kisses the captain ghost guy, and they all disappear. And then they were like, it was like, cool, it's like 4:59 p.m. and they all want to go home, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah, fuck it.
It doesn't. This is such a small budget movie.
I ain't getting paid for this.
Toss it out. It doesn't matter. We've managed to get some good names to it. Fuck it. I don't care. Yeah. She's a ghost the whole time. Shouldn't we like go back through the script and lay like, little plot point things? And they're like,
fuck it. Yeah, go on then.
Fuck it. We'll just.
She recognizes
we'll add like one
watch.
or thing. Yeah, she's like recognized. Give her. She can have the flashbacks. That makes sense. And they're like, okay. We'll leave it at that. It just it pissed me off to no end. It just makes zero sense.
Okay, well, I mean, I think we already know what the verdict is going to be. But before that, we got to do Shag, Marry, Kill.
Shag, Marry, Kill.
We got to do Tom Welling, Elizabeth, or the fog.
Or just the fog itself.
Yeah, the fog itself. Not the ghost people, the literal fog.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta fuck Tom Welling.
You're not marrying Tom Welling.
Fulfill that fantasy. Well, I don't know. He's all about God's country a bit, and he'd always be out in his boat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but if you marry Elizabeth or like whatever, she'd just be like, you'll be having a happy relationship. And then she just walks off and makes out with a ghost. Then disappears.
True. That is true, but that does free me up. I think I could probably file for what is it? Like an annulled marriage. I'll be like, well, she didn't tell me she was a ghost.
Yeah, I don't know.
She didn't tell me she was a ghost, and then I could take any. If there's any if she's got any like ghostly treasures, I might be able to get some of those in the. I don't know how annulments work. Be
haunted. For me, I'm fucking the fog because that could get up in everywhere. Like that could get into places you could only dream about reaching. You know what I mean?
No, I'd kill the fog in the way that I messaged you before I finished the film. I was trying to think of how the whole town would come together to beat this fog, and I said that they'd just line up all of these like electrical fans and just blow the fog away.
Blow the fog. And
the ghost fog is just like, oh no,
no wind. Well, the wind direction just changes, and then the fog gets
yeah. And then the lady on the radio is like, yeah, and now that's why we've set up the windmills on the coast.
Yeah,
we've just kept them there forever.
Thanks to renewable energy source, our windmill farms, whatever they're called, the wind farms, we've blown away the fog. So I think I'd kill the fog like that. I'd just blow it away.
Okay. So you're going fuck Tom Welling, marry Elizabeth, and then kill the fog. I think I'm going for fucking. I'm marrying Tom Welling because he's just a fisherman.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be alright. And then fucking the fog.
It'd just be all fishy all the time. Don't know.
Yeah, but he's out on sea, and I'm getting
not long term.
I'm getting satisfied from the fog. Like.
Why is this a feature of the show now?
I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Oh god. But look, bad film, good.
Bad film, fucking shit. Bad film, shit.
I wrote low budget, boring as dull shit. The best bit was the adverts.
Yeah.
The adverts were better than the fucking shit film. Because it's so bad. Dumb. It's so boring. And then it's like the ending just tops it all off. If it was like, dull ending makes sense, whatever, then it'd just be like, bad film, boring, whatever. But the ending is so shit. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, it just so spits in your face.
They clearly didn't know how to end it.
Yeah. I'm so curious. I maybe should have seen like the original because I wonder how far from the original this is.
That's true.
Surely this can't be like that. Can't be how it ends in real life. Surely not.
There's a difference between leaving some kind of questions up to the audience to kind of like decide or think what leave it kind of open-ended and stuff, and then establishing something pre-setting it up in small ways so that you can look back and be like, oh, that's why this happened, but then not having that make sense. You're like giving a definitive answer, like she was clearly part of this somehow, but we're not going to tell you how or how any of this makes sense because we're just going to contradict ourselves. It 4% Rotten Tomatoes makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of reviews, should we read some?
Nice smooth segment there.
Yeah,
Aiden.
Look at me, I'm learning.
And highlighting it just took all of the wind out of those sails.
But how many do you have? Do you want to alternate?
I've done it a little bit differently because I've just gotten a bunch of. Do you know, I'll go ahead with it and I'll start.
You go.
So I've taken a mix from the audience and from the critics, but I've just kind of noted down the quick ones that they've said before I go with my actual review. So we had a bunch of things from different people. One of them saying, these studios just don't know when to quit when they're ahead. One person saying, a boring, bland supernatural thriller. Another one saying, even the geography of the film doesn't seem to make sense. And then, Na We M, January 2013, 4 out of 5 stars, says, better than the original one.
Really? I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah. That was the only positive review I found there, pretty sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, you got looking nice.
Well, there was one that was just like, there weren't many on Rotten Tomatoes, to be fair, but there was one critic one that said something about how like, oh, it's shit, but the original was shit. So,
damn. Okay, so well, maybe it is better than the original.
Who knows?
But like, I've got this one's from Bevo13678 from last year actually. It's. I feel like this is a joke because it's 10 out of 10. It says hee hee, and then it says
it's Michael Jackson.
Good, but not as scary as the original movie, where I did a wee wee in my pants.
Amazing.
And then this one is from Stephen Frickin, 10 out of 10 as well, and it says much better than the original John Carpenter film. This film doesn't deserve the IMDb rating of 3.0
7 or whatever it was. The film improved on a lot of what the original film lacked. By comparison, the original is more of a live-action comedy cartoon than a horror film.
What?
It's not a what? Live-action comedy cartoon.
It's more of one. It's closer to being one. It isn't in any way, but it's closer to being one.
The film takes place in Oregon. Although it does look a lot like Oregon, the film was actually shot in British Columbia, which is part of Oregon County. What? Why?
What?
Why is that relevant? Why? Who cares?
Yeah.
Fucking, like, most films are shot in either Australia or Canada. So, what's your point?
Yeah.
If you're a fan of horror or ghost stories, then give this film a shot. It's a contemporary reimagining of the original film, and it even pays tribute faithfully